ABC News, bye-bye. ABC Network, bye-bye. The FCC is on to you. This wasn't the smartest move by Jimmy Kimmel, but nobody ever said the guy was all that smart. Apparently, over at ABC World News Tonight, they're not so smart either because they got a reporter who's just fawning over these messages, these text messages between the guy who took out Charlie Kirk and his we'll go with roommate to keep it clean. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got ABC about to lose its FCC license. I am going to show you some sound from my friend Benny Johnson's interview with Brandon Carr, head of the FCC. He's like, it's over. It's over, guys. It's just over. Donald Trump's FCC looking to yank ABC's license. You know what? You can only push them so far. And they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. You get this schmo over there, one Jimmy Kimmel, who considers himself a comedian, a bad one at that. I mean, when you got to have your jokes written for you, buddy. And then he tried to suggest, I mean, this is just full out misinformation, disinformation, that somehow this suspect that is believed to have assassinated Charlie Kirk was somehow, just a MAGA guy, like a Trump guy. In fact, what he said was, quote, "We hit some lows over the weekend with this MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it." Whoa, 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 buddy boy. And this is why. You know what? It's caught the attention of the guy who's in charge of giving out the licenses for ABC to even be in business to begin with. He's already, Brandon Carr, flagged ABC repeatedly because of The View and because of World News Tonight and because of some of the debates and because of This Week with Georgie Boo Stephanopoulos, the little guy, who made ABC have to pay $16 million to Donald Trump and his attorneys because he just flat out libeled him on the air. Well, Brandon Carr's had it. He's totally had it, and now he's looking at maybe taking some action. He said he's got to be careful about how he says this. But you can read between the lines just like I can. And it could be lights out for ABC. And I don't think I'm going to shed a tear over it. Are you? Watch.
When you look at the conduct that has taken place by Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible. As you've indicated, there are avenues here for the FCC. So there are some ways in which I need to be a little bit careful because we could be called ultimately to be a judge on some of these claims that come up. But I don't think this is an isolated incident. I mean, you go back to Representative Swalwell and emphasizing that Charlie Kirk's killer was a straight white male from a Republican family that voted for Donald Trump. In some quarters, there's a very concerted effort to try to lie to the American people about the nature, as you indicate, of one of the most significant, newsworthy public interest acts that we've seen in a long time. And what appears to be an action by Jimmy Kimmel to play into that narrative that this was somehow a MAGA or Republican motivated person. If that's what happened here with his conduct, that is really, really sick. And I've been very clear from the moment that I have become chairman of the FCC, I want to reinvigorate the public interest. And what people don't understand is that the broadcasters, and you've gotten this right, are entirely different than people that use other forms of communication. They have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. And we can get into some ways that we've been trying to reinvigorate the public interest and some changes that we've seen. But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Okay, he said it. We're going to do this the easy way, or we're going to do this the hard way. And you know what? If we do it the hard way, that means boom, 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 boom. You guys lose your licenses, which means all those little ABC affiliates all around the country, they won't have the license to broadcast your stuff. I'm sure they're actually going to be happy about it. They'll probably save a ton of money. And, maybe Brandon in his own special way is going to force some change for ABC because they'll no longer be able to go over the public broadcast airwaves and they'll have to actually stream. Which means they're actually going to have some personality and maybe some honesty. and transparency and truth and empathy and all the things that you ought to have, shall we say, as a journalist. But they don't seem to have much of over there at ABC. A comedian too, right? I mean, for the guy to sit there and say what he said, flat out lie, all right? All the information points to this kid having been badly radicalized. And by the way, you don't have to take my word for that. You don't have to take the FBI's word for that. Just look at his text messages. It says it all right there. So you got Jimmy Kimmel out there lying at a time when, by the way, ABC's already on thin ice. Don't forget what Donald Trump tweeted out just a couple weeks ago. Here he was saying, you know what? ABC and NBC fake news are two of the worst and most biased networks in history. Give me a 97% bad stories. If that's the case, they are simply an arm of the Democrat Party, and they should, according to many, have their licenses revoked by the FCC. I would be totally in favor of that because they are so biased and untruthful, an actual threat to our democracy. And consider this is happening before everything with Charlie Kirk. This is happening before Jimmy Kimmel decided to just somehow make up a whole narrative that had nothing to do with the truth. I mean, I'm stunned by it. I'm shocked by it. It's demoralizing to even think that, you know, you can have colleagues in this business, in the entertainment or television news business, that would actually just flat out make stuff up for their own personal gain. Does he think it's going to help him with ratings? I don't know. I don't think so. He's kind of in the toilet as far as that's concerned. I mean, he's the next one to go, right? I mean, first Colbert, now Jimmy Kimmel. How's Jimmy Kimmel going to stay in business when he's flat out lying to people? Does he really think that's what people want to hear? I'll tell you, when you got 38,000, I read somewhere today it was upwards of 70,000 new chapters for Turning Point that are just coming up out of the woodwork. Everybody cares right now. This has transcended the entire country. I'm hearing from Democrat after Democrat after Democrat after Democrat. They're all switching parties because they're disgusted by what they have seen from their own. And you can lump Jimmy Kimmel in there with their own. So he's out spreading misinformation and disinformation, saying what he said about this kid being a Trump supporter, MAGA guy, this, that, and the other. Well, Brandon Carr, he's had enough. And they're seriously looking at removing ABC's FCC license. That's a big deal, you guys. And you know what? I would not be surprised. I mean, don't forget what he said to us just a couple weeks ago. I won't play the sound again, but we've talked about it. I mean, you had The View spouting all kinds of insanity. And what did Brandon say? He went on to Fox News and he said, absolutely, they were in jeopardy. Absolutely, they were in trouble. Don't forget, even before Donald Trump came to office, back in December of 24, Brandon sent a whole letter to the Disney CEO. That would be one Bob Iger, who's going to be sitting there tearing his hair out saying, Jimmy, buddy, what are you doing? You're trying to kill me here. I mean, we're already on thin ice. And then you go with this. Oh, and this isn't the end of it because you got more ABC problems. It's not just the comedian. It is the news division for like World News Tonight. You know, the one with the anchor with the very pretty hair. Well, he's got a reporter out in the field reporting on all this stuff. And this reporter, I got to tell you, he's editorializing in his own little poetic way that just is going to turn your stomach. I mean, I have to play it for you because you got to know what these people are saying. But I'll tell you, the public is furious.